Hi guys, welcome to DevOps School. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn about Git. Git is a free and open source distributed version control system which tracking the changes in source code during software development with speed and efficiency. It is designed for coordinating work among programmers and used to track changes in any set of files. After going through this session, I promise you that the concept and understanding of the Git will be absolutely clear to you.
But before that, let me ask you a few things. Are you dreaming of a career with higher pay and more responsibilities? Or are you ready to take your skills to the next level this year? Then start investing in DevOps School certification level courses which will help you to emerge skills for a wide range of entry-level roles and as well as higher potential future positions. But with thousands of courses online and in classroom worldwide, finding the right one for your career goals can be difficult. You can consider our courses like Agile Developer, Agile QA, DevOps Certified Professionals, Site Reliability Engineering, DevSecOps, and Masters in DevOps Engineering, where you will have access to well-structured, easy-to-follow course content that has been developed and will be delivered by industry professionals. You can join on our training programs globally through online platforms, and if you are looking for classroom workshops, then we have regular sessions available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi NCR, Mumbai, and in Pune. Simply compare our many courses, find the one that suits your style and schedule best, and start today.
Okay, so the first question is, what is Git? What is Git? Right? What is Git? This is the first question. Now, many people say Git is a source code management. So there's a three keyword: management of what? Code, source code, right? Code, source code, we understand that source code management. Okay, so for we use Git for the source code management. Many people say also this is versioning tool of what? Code. Now, when I say code, understand this. When I say code, okay, what is a code? What is code? So there is a very simple definition I would like to give it to you. Code which can be open with Notepad. I'm just putting in a simple way so you understand. Code can be anything. Code can be one script written in any languages. Code can be a program code which can be written in with any programming language. Code can be some information also, okay, which can be written in any editor, and that gets stored and can be opened with the Notepad. If that file cannot be opened with the Notepad and you cannot see the content, I believe you cannot say the code. Why? Because the Notepad can open any code file written in any format and extension, and you can see the content, you can read the content. Okay, so such as CSS file, HTML file, Java file, Python file, your JavaScript, or use some .txt file, whatever it is a source code. Okay, it is a source code. So here, this is the code I am talking about. You want to version, okay, with the help of Git. Okay, so you must be wondering, okay, what is not a code? What is not a code? What is not a code? So many things which is not a code, but we still store it in Git, but we should not do that. For example, images, for example, PDF file, for example, movie file, for example, doc file, MS Doc is not a place where you can store the code. Remember, doc file, it's not a, you cannot open in a Notepad, correct? So it's like this. So images, PDF, movie file, doc file, it's not a code at all. You cannot store, but still we store this file. Okay, so this is the thing. So here, what is Git? So Git we use for source code management. What is a code we understood? What is not code we understood? It's for versioning of the code. So when you say versioning, this is the important one. When you say versioning, what is versioning? Then you people, if you are not knowing, what is the versioning? So versioning means I want to know, I want to know some information on the code. What some information? That information include when this code was code was done. This is the thing. When, okay, when means when this code was written or whatever it is. When at last year, last week, last month, okay, last week, last day, at what time, when it was written, that particular code, when it was written, I want to know. Okay, so what code has been written? Okay, I want to know at that time what was written. 1 year ago what was written, 6 months ago what was written. I want to know the code exactly. I want to know when, plus I want to know what also. Now also I want to know who has written this code, whether it was written by Peter or whether it was written by Ramu, right? Who has written this code? So when it was written, that particular code, what was written, who has written this code, where that code is altogether, where this code is, where a code is located. I want to know. Okay, so when, what, who, where, and last thing, why this code was written is written. I want to know the reason for it. Correct? I want to know reason. This is called versioning because in a team we have so many people keep writing a code, keep writing a code, and we are a team. We are not individual. Let's say if you are individual, then what we will do? If you are individual, then we'll say v1 file.txt, then v2.txt, v3.txt. We'll keep it versioning like this. This is called versioning, right? Version 1, version 2, version 3. But because we are in a team, we cannot do that, and it's not a good practice also. So we are not a team, we cannot do that. So we have to have some management tool for versioning. Management tool, see here, management tool for versioning. Okay, and the tool can help us to get all this information, which includes when, what, who, where, okay, where, why, this, that, and stuff like that. Okay, so here all this thing is important. So did you understand that what is Git and why we all call source code management versioning tool for code and stuff like that? Do you understand that?
Yes,
Any?
Rajesh.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, understood.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now next thing is, okay, what is Git? I got to know Git for the versioning, but this is a is a tool which is open source. Okay, this is an open source tool. Now this is a free also. This is compatible with all operating system. That means you can use whatever wherever you want. Okay, wherever you want. So compatible with all operating system. Now here, who has written this code? Part of the code, okay, part of the code is written in C. Okay, written in C. Okay, and plus 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 few more files. I have seen it in the source code, C++ or something like that. So I mean, it's not important, so important, but just for the information. Now this is the tool. Now, this was written by who? Linus Torvald. Okay, this tool is written by Torvald, licensed with Apache 2. Okay, licensed with Apache 2. Now, when it's a Apache license, you can do whatever you want. Okay, you can check the Apache 2 license guidelines. Okay, and you can see the code and stuff like that. All these things you can do that. So, yep, it's a source code management tool. This is a versioning tool for the tool for the code. Okay, it is an open source tool. It is a free tool. It is a compatible with all the operating system, right? Written in C and stuff like that. Written by Linus Torvald and Apache 2 license. Now the question is, do you know who's the Linus Torvald? Do you know who's the Linus Torvald?
No.
Anyone know?
No.
So I think you all know. I know that you all know that, but we just have forgotten him. He's the father of Linux, and we studied many times, and including our colleges also. So he's the father of Linux. Okay, he's the guy who has written this tool. So he has written the Linux kernel also. He has written Git also. Now there is one interesting story is why he has written. So he was using BitKeeper. There's one tool which is called reason for Git is BitKeeper. Now this tool was being used at that point of time in 2000, between 1999 and 2004 or something like that. This tool was being used by Linus team for managing the code of kernel, Linux kernel. Why they were using this tool, BitKeeper? Because this tool at that point of time was having one feature, and that was called distributed. This is a very important feature. Okay, distributed. So distributed way, the tools, because it was a distributed, and you know this Linux kernel was developed by community, means the engineer, software engineer, who wanted to write a code for the people, not for the commercial benefit, and these peoples are located around the globe everywhere. So Linus Torvald was managing this kernel Linux, and they were storing the source code in BitKeeper. And for some reason, uh, BitKeeper was giving, and this is a proprietary tool. This was a proprietary tool. So at that time, BitKeeper was giving the free license to Linux, Linus Torvald, for having this license to the license to use it. But at some point of time, what has happened? BitKeeper decided to discontinue their free license for the open source project. So Linus Torvald got angry. He got angry because of he said, like, we are developing a software which is Linux for the world, and it's a free, and we don't have any proprietary stuff, and we are writing a free code, and how can you charge us for using your software? So BitKeeper did not listen. So he got furious and he wrote Git, which was a truly distributed version control system. Version control system. And that was the reason. So Git was written for their own team, and later it becomes so popular within a development community. It's been there from last 15 plus years. So popular. So we are using right now. Okay. So I don't know, remember the timeline, but probably in 2004, sometime here I'm putting asterisks. first release has happened of the Git. Okay, so this is the kind of world of Git and stuff like that. So this is why what is Git, and this is why we are using it. Why we want to use it? Because when, what, who, where, and why. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So now let's move on. Now you must be wondering what are the, okay, fine, Git is there. What are the other tools? So other tools you must be knowing. If you're saying you don't know the Git, then at least you must be knowing one tool. Without that, we cannot survive in the software engineering, right? This is the tool, this is the problems, this is the problems which we have from ages actually, since we started doing the coding. So initially, we very at a very initial stage in an open source category, we got a tool which is called RCS. And after that, we got CVS. After that, we got SVN, okay, and Subversion in full form. And then now we have a Git. In the proprietary tool section, we have so many tools actually. I remember VSS, which was earlier days, VSS. Then we have a Perforce also, which become very popular at once upon a time, and then later they lost the scene because of Git. Clear Case, right? Clear Case, which was from IBM, very popular tool. You must have heard about it at least once upon a time. We had a, Clear Case. Then there may few tools for again. Just TFS we have. TFS we have. Now we have Azure DevOps and all stuff like that. So okay, Azure DevOps, which is right. So these are the proprietary tools we have. VSS from Microsoft, Visual Studio, TFS, Azure DevOps from Microsoft again, Clear Case from IBM, Purpose from Purpose, and Mercury also. It was one of the popular tools at once upon a time. So you see here, there's so many things which you have here. Okay, so many things. So guys, these are the tools. Now you must be wondering, we have so many tools available. So why we all are crazy about Git? Why? What is the reason? So one of the reason is Git is truly distributed. Truly distributed. Now this is important because all these tools what I said here, RCS, CVS, SVN, Perforce, VSS, ClearCase, TFS and all, these are not distributed. Git is truly distributed. So if you want to compare all other tools, see here, these all tools are pretty old tool, old release, stable product. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, but again, nowadays others also become a free by the way because of Git. So all this thing is there since ages. So why still we need a Git? The reason is this one. Git is truly distributed. So you should know, you should be having curiosity to know what is distributed means here, what I'm talking about. Because this makes Git really different. Here, if you look at this, here also I use this called keyword distributed. Getting a punch? So we should know about this. Git is truly distributed. Now, who can use Git? Who can use Git? Many people say only developers will use the Git. It's not true. It anyone can use the Git. Anyone and everyone. Okay, it's not a something tool which is being used only in the software engineering, but in many other domain also this is being used. But you have to understand again, and you have understood all together, who should use Git? Anyone who wants who wants this one. Simple. Because nowadays in every domain you have a code itself. It's all about the code. No matter whether there are hundreds of programming languages, hundreds of them, different domain, like this telecom domain also, there's a banking domain also, software engineering, and many places. So anyone and everyone who wants this feature, he has to use Git. Okay. So overall, yes, we discussed about some of the basic stuff, which is like what is Git, what is a versioning. Then we discuss what is a code, what is not a code. Okay. And other tools also, Git is distributed, who can use Git, and so on. Okay. So we have discussed and tried to give you idea about what is Git.
Rajesh, quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. What is the distributed actually mean?
Yeah. So this is the important things. I will talk about it in some time. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, guys, which you have? Any confusion?
Yeah, I have a question. In the other two sections, like what is the difference between OS and proprietary?
Open source here. I said open source. That means free. That means free. And here proprietary means you have to pay for it if you want to use it more than their limitation. Let's say Purpose, if I recall, earlier they were having few users free, I think one or two. I'm having very bad memory though. When they started 5 people, then I guess 20 people, and now it's completely free. So it is like that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, got it.
Okay, so who can use Git? So any other questions, guys? Okay, so now you want to understand what is distributed, what is distributed. So if you really want to know what is distributed, before that you should know what is server and client model. Okay, and I think you all know, you all understand what is a server and client model. Okay, so now let me tell you what is a server and client model. And we use this software, this kind of software a lot. So what is happening, see here, in the server and client model there is a server. Okay, and if you want to use this server manage the one particular software. Okay, understand, there is a server, this manage one application, this manage one applications. Okay, and applications has certain information, some data, and then if you want to use this, then you have to use the client for it. This is a network based, correct? Here server has some IP address, and you have a client in your laptop, and then using this client you use it. Okay, so this is how we use it. So this is called server and client model. Now if this network is not there, you are not connected, that means you cannot use this software. Okay, agree? So this is how the server model and client model is there. So now in this context, in the Git context, let's discuss little bit more on it. So typically what happens here, here we have a one repository. Typically when we say repository, the concept of repository, let's say, just what is repository? A repository. What is repository? So here you see, if I read it, So here if I read this, a place where or res- a place where or res- receptacle in which things are or may be stored, right? So something which we store. So when I say here it's like a code, then of course in this repository we'll store the code. So here repository typically divided into two parts. One is like a data. When I say data means metadata, okay, and then one is your source code. So this is a repository, right? So source code and metadata. Now what is the metadata? So metadata will have this information, okay. It will store when this was committed, who has committed, and all this stuff like that, reasons for it, why this was committed, all this stuff like that. So this is the metadata. This is called repository, and just now we learned this is the repository, okay. So some data to be stored. Now repository, because it's repository, need a management, some sort of management. So on top of that, there is a one software has been written. This is the data, okay, this is the data, and there's some software has written which manage the integrity of this repository. That means not, whatever way you want to modify the data, it's not possible. You have to follow certain patterns for it, okay, certain rules for it, certain guidelines. So those guidelines is enforced by the tool, and in our case it is a Git, okay, Git. So Git is written on top of the repository, and this Git is installed and set up in one server, one machine, one laptop, and this is called server, right? This is called server. Understand this? Okay. Now how can we use that server? Because here there is just one repository server. This is Git. I'm sorry, I'm not using Git here, so I have to use something else. So here Git cannot be there. So here something like, let's say, Perforce, okay, something like a Perforce, or because server. See here it can be CVS, it can be SVN, it can be Perforce, it can be Carecase, and so on. So these are the tools, Perforce, P4 in short. So now P4 are tools which manages the repository, or SVN is a tool which manages the repository at one server, and this is located. Now server has IP address, right? Server has a port also. Server has a, and this user, this tool has some user also who should be accessing, and what should be accessing, and all this stuff like that. And if you want to use this software, then we all use software. See here, we all use the software. This is our laptop, okay, this is a big laptop, and here now what we do, because if you want the source code, and if you look at this here, this is the multiple version is stored here, okay. So version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, version 5, version 2000, version 2 lakh, okay. So there's a multiple version stored here. So now here we we install the client. Now the client can talk to through network to this IP address, and client will get me only one version. Understand that, this one version, and this one version we have it in our workspace. This workspace, what when we say workspace, that means the place where we work every day. We do the coding. That's our workplace. Let's say D drive workplace. That is where I keep writing a code, correct? Or you use some IDs also, like Eclipse, Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code. Nowadays we use it a lot. Notepad, TextPad, whatever. I don't care about the IDs, but use it. So here we get a client, and here see, all version are here, but through client you get only one version of the code, one timeline of the code. Like you want the timeline means latest code or little bit outdated code till last 1 week. I want that 1 week old code I want it. So you get only one copy, and you modify this copy here in local, and you send that submit or commit here, and again you store new version here. So this is a client, this is a server. Did you understand this? Now, what is the server and client concept?
Yeah,
Yes.
one question. But we will be getting only one, and that is whatever we want, or how it is.
So in the
Hello?
client, you get only one version. You get only one version. The version can be your older also or latest also. And that is on that code on which you work every day, and you modify the code and submit again and then send it to the server, which is to be stored. And they store the code in the repository concept, like a code is there and meta information, which is managed by integrity of this repository is managed by some tools like Perforce, TFS, and so on, right?
Okay.
Yeah. When you say it's a client, it's local. It could be any one system.
Yeah, any one system, the developer system,
Yeah.
QA people system, right? It can be client. So here there is a server. Server is located at one place, one server, but client is a multiple. So here we have a client, here we have a client. 50 people are working together. Now this network is important. If this networking is not there, we will not be able to send our code to the server. So other people will not get the code. Okay, so see here what we do now. If you must be wondering what you do. So you do multiple things. For example, you add a new files. Okay, you change the existing files, you delete the files, you do the branching also, you merging also. Okay, you do you see the logs history, you see the logs, you compare the things. For everything, adding, change, deletion, branching, merging, logging, comparison, everything, this network is required, because version is where? Here. You have only one copy of it. So if you want to do add also, you have to have a network. If you want to change also some file, here you need to have a network. If you want to delete also, you need a network. You want to branch, merge, log, compare, everything, you need a network. If you are not having network, though you can do the changes in your source code, but you cannot commit, you cannot add, you cannot change, you cannot delete, you cannot branch, you cannot merge, you cannot see the logs, you cannot compare, you cannot do that. Why? Because the repository is somewhere in the central and you don't have a network. So network is important here, correct?
Yeah. And by integrity, like what are the different types of integrity? Like what they'll be setting different ways.
When I say integrity, integrity is a very broad word. Okay, so when I talk about integrity, means the process by following, you should send the code to this repository. So that is managed by tools like a Perforce on CVS. So when I say integrity, that means who should allowed to commit, who should allowed to delete, right? Who should allowed to communicate to this repository? How should you allowing that? Which protocol and or port number, authentication, authorization, uh, all this stuff. So this is maintained by tools like Perforce or SVN or CVS or something like this. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So are you okay with the server and client model?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So server and client model, all these tools, whichever you see, is a server and client model. All these tools. All these tools is server. Okay. So now you must be you must be wondering what is a distributed model here. So distributed model is little bit simple compared to this. Look at this here. Remember adding, deleting, change, this, that. So let's discuss about the distributed. In a distributed model, what is happening? Everyone, see here, this is located somewhere else, my laptop is located somewhere else. But in a distributed model, your repository is located in your laptop only. Understand that. This is one laptop, This is another laptop. This is a big laptop. I need it here. So this is a having repository. This also has a repository. See that this laptop also has their own repository. Understand this? So in this, everyone will have their own repository. See here in this client, here there is no repository. Repository at a server, but here I will work within a laptop against my this repository one. Yeah. So in the distributed model, there will not be any client and server, because you will be working within your laptop, within your repository. Now, if you recall that, what is a repository? What is a repository? Repository means code plus metadata, version. All this version, remember I said version. And you are working against what? You are not going to the connect some network, some port, some access you don't need in this case, because everything, this repository is lying in your laptop only. See here. So if this guy wants to work, he will work in his own repository. If this guy wants to work, he will work in his own repository. No one is working on the server. There is no keyword called server in Git. You all are working in your own repository, which is located at one place in your laptop, your machines, your physical machines. So this is called distributed. See here you had a once repository, and we all connect through the network and work on that repository. But in this case, in Git, I have my own repository, you have your own repository, everyone will have their own repository. And when I say repository, means everything. Please do not forget the concept of repository. Everything. So now guys, in Git, everyone work in their own repository and everyone have their own thing. So now you must be wondering one thing in your mind. You must be wondering, okay, fine, I work in my own repository, everyone else also work on the same repository, their own repository. So how do we collaborate? So that is the question of the day, and I will take a little bit more time to work with it. But for time being, what I am saying is, you want to add a file, you want to delete a file, you want to change the file, you want to modify the file, you want to do the branching, you want to do the merging, you also want to compare the file, you want to see the difference, and you want to do anything, you want to see the history. Everything you can do against your own local repository, the one which you have in your laptop. That means there is no network required to work and do the versioning of the source code. There is no network required.
Yeah, Rajesh, I have one question. What do you mean by branching?
That's a good question. I'll take little bit of time to explain it to you. I understand, because I don't want to give you one line statement and complete my work. Just give me some
No
time.
problem.
Because, yeah. So many people, those who understand branching, good. Those who are not understanding branching concept, no problem. I will teach you. Okay. So now this is the thing. So here, what we are doing, we are working against our own repository, which is located at my system itself. This model, where each and every one is working against their own repository, and not everyone is connected to work. To work means to add, delete, modify, branching, merging, viewing, not required network. This is called distributed model. This is called distributed, means it's distributed. You are not dependent. You are having no internet, no network, still you can add, delete, change, branch, merge, view, everything you can do in this. But here, if you have in the server and client model, and if Perforce is not running, or SBN is not running, or ClearCase is not running, then you cannot do add, delete, modify, branching, merging, viewing, history, this, that, and all. You cannot do that. So guys, did you understand what is the difference between server and client, and what is distributed, and how it is benefiting you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is it clear?
it's clear.
Good. So guys, yes, Git is distributed. Please understand that this is a very popular feature we have. That means in order to manage the source code, or in order to the versioning, you don't need any server at all. You don't need any server. You create your repository and you start versioning and you get everything done in the local rather than server. Okay, so this is a Git, and that is why the Linus Torvald wanted this feature, because in the world of open source community, there's no central team. Actually, these people are located at a different places around the globe, and they work independently without having connected to the network. Someone works from the beach, someone works from the some remote location. So yeah, that is how this Git is helping. So Git is giving you freedom, great freedom, which was not there earlier with these tools. I don't know how many of you have experience with these tools, but these tools were keeping the programmers lots of dependency on others. Like, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot add this file, you cannot try this, you cannot do branching, you cannot merge it. I don't have a permission because no one has given permission. I need to request for the permission. So many things were there, but here everything you can do whatever you want. Everything. Don't need to talk to anyone independently. Okay, so guys, this is the overall our discussion on to introduce your Git, which includes what is Git, what is versioning, what is code, what is not a code, what are the other tools, what is a truly distributed means, who can use Git, what is a server and client model, and what is distributed. So more or less everything is done. If you have any questions, please ask me. And if you don't have a questions, next one is how to install Git. Okay, that is a next question. Anyone has any questions on this? Any other questions?
No.
Great. Okay, so the question is how to install it. And answer is very simple. Are you using Windows? Are you using Mac? Are you using Linux? Okay, if you are using Windows, you need the exe. If you are using Mac, if you are using DMG, if you use Linux, there's again, you can go for the executable, which people don't opt for it, but repository based also, repo based. Okay, so executable from where? Where do you get it? Executable, exe file. I don't think so. I should teach you how to install exe because you all have been doing since ages, right? So where to get it? So this executable you can get it from the git-scm.com. So if I access this website from Windows, then you notice here, this is beauty. If you notice from Windows, you get it Windows. But if you access from the Linux system, you will get it Linux option. But if you access for Mac, you get a Mac system. But if you're cross, you can use C. Okay. Source code you don't need right now, tarball and all stuff like that. Okay. So this is the download option. You can download and you get it. But many people, if they are using Linux, then you want the repo based. Repo based means if you are using Ubuntu Debian family, okay, Debian. So typically we'll use apt get sudo Debian Ubuntu and all apt get install git. You will do this. Or if you are using RHEL family, CentOS and stuff like that, then you will use yum install. You come yum install and get y. That's all. So if you're using not executable, you can install from this. So now I will not teach you how to install exe and stuff like that, because just download exe, click on it, keep continuing next till end of it. Don't change any options. Okay, but and continue whatever the default you get it and you get it. So this is the way we install the things. I believe you guys have Windows, so you will download that from here. You will download from here and you will install this. Okay, did you understand this? Any questions, guys? Any doubts
No,
on the
Rajesh.
installation? Okay, now guys, there is a one good tool you will get it when we install through exe in Windows. Okay, there is a two tool you will get it. In fact, three tools you will get it. Okay, when you install through exe in Windows, you get one is a git GUI. Okay, that's a one tool, git GUI. Okay, there is a one tool, another tool you get it, which is called git bash. Okay, git bash. And there is another tool which you get it, git GUI, git bash, and git cmd. By the way, this tool got deprecated. Okay, deprecated means new release will not happen, and that the whatever the latest release what we have will get removed in future, not now. Git GUI, I think it's not very good, but okay for visualization. Okay for visualization. It's not a great tool, but okay for visualization. Okay, and guys, one more thing, I might do some spelling mistake here and there, so request you to ignore it, because sometimes even I don't focus on each and every keywords what I'm writing as per my habit. So I'm using notepad, so that is how. So git GUI is okay for visualization, and this is a very good tool. Very good tool. Why very good tool? Because it says git bash. So not only you can use a git command, but you can use a basic Linux command also in Windows. In Windows, understand this, without installing the Linux. That is a good thing. So git bash behave as if it's like a Linux. Structure, directory structure will be something like a Linux. Basics commands of Linux is supported, and that is possible only with the git bash. Very good tool, and we like it. The git bash has a good color combinations also, some green, blue, white, this, that, and all. So very easy to work with it. It's a very popular tool. Now the question is this the only tool which we have it for Git to work with the Git? No. Is this the only tool which we have it to install in my laptop to manage this repository? Answer is no. So you need a Git as a command line tool, but there's so many clients are there. If you look at this, please read this. See here, Git client binary for all major platforms. Okay, so if you click here, you get many options. Okay, many options. See here, Git GUI clients, Git via Git or something like that. Logos, what is logos? Oh, it's just a image. Okay, so here if you click GUI client, and it will take you to the page, and here you have a all Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS. So source tree, GitHub desktop also you have it, Tortoise Git, Git extension, Git Kraken. I'm not used it. No time for all this stuff. Smart Git, Tower. By the way, this is paid actually. Very costly. Very costly. $79 per user. GitUp, GitI, GitGi, and so many tools are there. Okay, so many tools are there. Okay, so yes, you can use it for the Git client. Depends on your operating system. I will teach you Git Bash. See, commands will remain same, or the concept and functionality will remain same. Which GUI tool you are using hardly matters. You should know that whichever the tool you are using, it's not like the functionality of the Git will change. It's just about the experience they are having multiple tools. So I will teach you most of the things through the Git Bash and commands. Okay, commands, through commands, but we will also learn source tree or GitHub desktop. Okay, so we will learn. By the way, source tree from the Bitbucket basically is a company called Atlassian, and GitHub is from the GitHub itself. Okay, now what is a GitHub? I'll need to teach you. We'll get to know. Microsoft is owning Git right now. GitHub. Tortoise Git, those who's coming from a background of SVN, then I don't think so I need to introduce this tool. You must have used Tortoise SVN since ages, more than I remember. I'm hearing this tool from last 20 plus years. I mean, hearing means not 20, means I'm hearing when I started my first job. But this tool is there since ages. Before me joined the colleges, this tool were there. Tortoise SVN at that time. Then we got a Tortoise Git. So it's a handle tool, easy to use and all, and many tools are there. So yep, you can use any tool, whatever you want. But as part of this training, I'll teach you Git Bash, I'll teach you source tree, probably I'll install the GitHub desktop also, and we'll see that how it goes. Okay, so guys, this is the way you can install it. So I believe you have to install from here in your laptop. Okay, so guys, are you comfortable with the Git installations and stuff like that?
Yeah, Rajesh, one question. So when you say that okay for visualization, what does that mean? So what do we do in visualizations in GUI?
When I say visualization means command line versus console. I mean, some UI will be there. And when I say visualization means if you want to see the number of commits, history, comparison, branching, more. I mean, you want to see that something visual rather than reading. There's two things: read it through commands output, or it will display in a nice dashboard sort of it, report sort of it. I mean, some graph sort of it. So this is called visualization. So okay, I mean, it's not a great feature which we have, but you can use for the basic visualization section.
Okay.
And once I start showing you the output of the command, then you will understand this visualization. For example, visualization, see here. This is the, look at the one image here, whatever the image. This is called visualization. So, see here. See, this is a visualization. I mean, you are having console, but command line output, you know that how you run the command and get the output, and so that is our stuff, right?
Okay.
Okay guys, so this is the how to install. Now the thing is here, I have already installed the git bash. You cannot install multiple times. So if I install the git bash, you see here git, I got a git cmd, git GUI, git bash. Though it might not be up to date like you guys will have today, but it's okay for me to have this training. So git bash is there, git GUI is there, git cmd is there. If you want to really see the git GUI, click on it. Nothing wrong in it, nothing will happen. Just click on it. And I clicked it. It must be loading actually. And if you want to click on the git bash, click on it. And here it is. So this is a git bash. Okay. This is the git bash. See. So this is the git bash, and git k will launch if you have some repository. Means git GUI, which will launch if you have some repository. Right now it's trying to launch, but it's not coming because the repository is not found. So repository is not there, so I will show you that also. So this is it. Okay guys, so this is the git bash on which I am going to work with you today, and I'll teach you all these behaviors on all the commands, workflows, life cycles, and stuff like that. Any questions? See, this is the GUI, which got little bit launched late. Why? Because of cannot find a git repository. Click OK. So this is the GUI. Okay. Create new repository, clone existing repository, open existing repository. So these are the few functionality to begin. Okay guys, so this is all about the installation. I mean, this is all about the introduction of Git, and this is how you need to install it. Any questions, any doubts?
One question, Rajesh. I'm Mauli here, Chandra Mauli here. For benefit of all, if you can give us two illustration. One, let's say I'm a developer or a coder who codes daily, coming to office. What I will do in Git, like one full day, like from the start of the day till end of the day. One illustration on that, and what exactly I will try. And one more illustration is on an overview. Let's say there is a project started. From there, there are like 4 to 5 team people working, and then end of the project they're releasing as an app or a website or something, some component. Let's say if you can give us some like words where they will start, where they will end, this two illustration if you can able to give us, then when you explain each terms it will be easy to connect, like what you are explaining, which part you are explaining.
Yeah, sure. That is the objective of our exercise. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Okay, good.
Hi Rajesh, sorry to stop you. Like I wanted to know what are the major keywords we use when we are using Git, and also what is they mean actually. So maybe if you cover those also basics initially, when you talk in the further training, then it will be easy for us to connect actually. This keyword is for this purpose, like that. Maybe just a comment.
So keyword means command and the behavior, and that is all about this training is. That is all about this workshop is. So we will learn. I don't want to give you all the commands in one go and you get lost and you lose the interest. That's one thing. For time being, what you need to remember, only one thing. That's only one thing. I have a code, and I want to do versioning. That's all. When I say versioning, this one. That means you write a one code today and you want to know tomorrow or day after or next month what you did today. This is called versioning. So here you just need to know two things right now: code, what you want, versioning. That's all. Nothing else you need to push in your mind right now. Keep it simple. Your mind's right now workflow in Git, and then that is how we will go through that. So, and apart from that, terminologies, process, what to be done, what not to be done, all these things slowly will get automatically adjusted with this new things, and then we'll learn about it. So that's the objective of this session. Anyways, we'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Rajesh.
Thanks for watching. To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership. Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Want to study further? Subscribe to our paid membership to get a deep dive into each and every topic. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to our DevOps School channel and hit the bell icon to learn more. Keep learning.